In a move that has sent shockwaves through the NHL, the Colorado Avalanche and the Carolina Hurricanes executed a blockbuster trade involving star forwards Mikko Rantanen and Martin Nečas. This analysis delves into the motivations behind the trade, the immediate and long-term implications for both franchises, and the broader impact on the NHL landscape. For the Colorado Avalanche, the decision to trade Mikko Rantanen was primarily driven by contract considerations. Rantanen, 28, was approaching unrestricted free agency at the end of the season. Despite his impressive performance, 25 goals and 64 points in 49 games, contract extension negotiations had stalled. Reports indicated that Rantanen was seeking a significant salary increase, which the Avalanche were hesitant to accommodate due to salary cap constraints and the need to manage future roster flexibility. Faced with the prospect of losing Rantanen for no return in free agency, the Avalanche opted to trade him to acquire valuable assets. The Carolina Hurricanes, on the other hand, were motivated by a desire to bolster their offensive capabilities for a deep playoff run. By acquiring Rantanen and Taylor Hall, the Hurricanes aimed to enhance their scoring depth and overall team performance. This aggressive move signaled the organization's commitment to contending for the Stanley Cup in the current season. However, it's noteworthy that both Rantanen and Hall are set to become unrestricted free agents after the season, introducing an element of risk should the team be unable to secure contract extensions with either player. The inclusion of the Chicago Blackhawks as a third party in the trade was strategic. By retaining 50% of Rantanen's salary, the Blackhawks facilitated the financial aspects of the deal, enabling the Hurricanes to fit the incoming contracts under their salary cap. In return, Chicago received a third-round pick from Carolina, leveraging their available cap space to acquire future assets. The acquisition of Martin Nečas and Jack Drury, along with additional draft picks, represents a strategic retooling for the Avalanche. Nečas, 26, has been a consistent offensive contributor, recording consecutive 100-point seasons prior to the trade. At the time of the trade, he had amassed 16 goals and 55 points in 49 games. His playmaking abilities and versatility are expected to complement the Avalanche's existing core, potentially forming a dynamic partnership with center Nathan MacKinnon. The draft picks acquired in the trade, a second-round selection in 2025 and a fourth-round pick in 2026, provide the Avalanche with opportunities to further strengthen their prospect pool. These assets offer flexibility for future transactions or the development of young talent to sustain the team's competitive window. Integrating Mikko Rantanen and Taylor Hall into the lineup significantly enhances the Hurricanes' offensive arsenal. Rantanen's consistent scoring prowess, highlighted by back-to-back 100-point seasons, positions him as a top-line winger capable of elevating the performance of his linemates. His chemistry with fellow Finn Sebastian Aho is anticipated to be a focal point of Carolina's attack. Taylor Hall, 33, brings a wealth of experience and a history of offensive production, including a Hart Trophy win in the 2017 to 2018 season. However, the departures of Martin Nečas and Jack Drury create voids that will need to be addressed. Nečas was leading the team in scoring at the time of the trade, and his absence will test the depth of Carolina's forward core. The success of this trade for the Hurricanes hinges on the immediate impact of Rantanen and Hall, as well as the organization's ability to negotiate contract extensions to retain their services beyond the current season. For the Colorado Avalanche, this trade represents a calculated risk aimed at maintaining long-term competitiveness. By moving Rantanen before potentially losing him in free agency, the Avalanche secured a younger asset in Nečas, who is under contract for one more year at a $6.5 million average annual value. This financial flexibility allows Colorado to manage its salary cap more effectively and plan for future roster construction. The Carolina Hurricanes have signaled a win-now mentality with this trade. The acquisitions of Rantanen and Hall are clear indications of the organization's commitment to pursuing a championship in the current season. The success of this strategy is contingent upon the seamless integration of these players into the team's system and the ability to manage the salary cap implications of potential contract extensions. The risk is amplified by the possibility that both Rantanen and Hall could depart as unrestricted free agents after the season, which would leave the Hurricanes without the assets they traded away and potentially create gaps in their roster. Beyond the two teams involved, this trade highlights broader NHL trends, particularly the increasing use of third-party salary retention. Chicago's willingness to eat half of Rantanen's salary in exchange for a draft pick is an example of how rebuilding teams can leverage cap space as a trade asset. Ultimately, the success or failure of this blockbuster deal will depend on whether Carolina's aggressive approach results in a Stanley Cup, or if Colorado's long-term planning proves to be the smarter move.